I'm Scott Burns with Cross City Church in Columbus, Ohio. You know, after doing a lot of years of pastoral ministry, I've come to realize that most people don't know how to explain the gospel. And for a lot of them, it's because they don't know what the gospel is. Others, because they don't actually have confidence in the gospel. And yet for others, because they simply don't know how to get in those conversations. A lot of people say they know what the gospel is, but very few know how to speak it with any fluency. So over the last 15 years, God has graciously helped us develop a fun and effective one-day training for the people in our church to know how to speak the gospel and how to get into better gospel conversations with the people in their life. And we just simply want to extend the invitation for you and your church or your group to be able to join us in that. Why do we do it? Simply because we have a passion for the advancing of the gospel anywhere in this world. We call it Sharing the Good News Workshop, and this year we're holding it on March 13th here in Columbus, Ohio, and streaming it to any church or any group that would like to participate in it. It's a fun, helpful, group-oriented training opportunity that uses a variety of elements of small mini lectures, personal crafting times, small group times, and hearing from testimonies with those who are gifted in the area of sharing their faith. Also, we're setting aside designing time within it for the pastors or the leaders of groups that are streaming to have time with their own people to lead your own discussions, or you can simply listen to the discussions that we're having there in the group. Now, we're not claiming it was any type of a miracle, but following last year's workshop, we felt like it was so helpful in people getting clarity of the gospel and actually wanting to share the gospel that we felt clearly led that we should do it again, and this time to be able to open it up to more people to be able to be trained in how to share the gospel. So here's how it works for a church or group to host a site. Number one, talk amongst yourselves and decide if your church wants to host it or if you want to host a group at your own place, and let us know. We will then hook you up with one of our site coordinators and they'll help you work through the details. Number two, while we here in Columbus will be having a physical in-person teaching of this, and other people in other churches can't join us, we do have limiting seating here. We're going to recruit to ours, but you would recruit to your own showing at your own church or your own group. You invite people in, you set your own price, invite them to you, you do your own registration. Number three, eventually then we send you training booklets in time for the day, as well as you give us a list of your certain set of small group leaders and workers for the day, and we'll provide easy online training for them. So really, it's quite an easy thing for you to host a site. We would like to do most of the work for you and leave you room to customize it for your church. The framework and principles that we'll be teaching through that day are found in a curriculum called The Gospel in 6, or here's the workbook for the day. And we would love to be able to share with your group or your church the day in which we could really show them the principles and framework that we use to be able to speak the gospel clearly, to be able to communicate it reasonably to the unbeliever, and be able to explain the gospel in a way that sets a foundation for gospel-shaped living in the times to come. If this gospel training seems appealing to you, or you'd be open to discuss it more for your church or for your group, please let us know. Contact us by the email that you got this from, or Scott at Cross City Church. We'd love to attempt to answer your questions to see if you guys could join us for that day. Thank you for your time. May God bless us in entrusting His glorious gospel to His people.